kind of our first week where there's not shit going on.
Yeah.
Like, really, any shit going on.
Yeah. All right, what are you thinking?
I don't know what we're doing anymore. What's going on, Pond? Welcome back to the 21st episode of the Coy Pond with your two favorite fish, Mr. Kevin and myself. Hope
Hello.
you all have had a great week, and I don't know, was there anything last week?
Easter?
Oh,
That's the big thing.
Hope everyone had a good Easter.
Yeah, you know.
And one of like the three major holidays.
Hamas is not celebrating that, but that's beside the point.
I think they were up to other things that day.
Exactly.
They had to take a rain delay. I think there's this upcoming weekend.
But it did turn out to be a great weekend here.
Yeah, it was super nice around Dayton, honestly.
Had some rain in the mornings, but the rest of the days were pretty good.
Beautiful. I mean, it was one of the best Easters we've had in a while, it felt like.
Yeah, nice warm. That was for sure.
And you know, if you're still around, you made it to today, you survived what was supposed to be the downfall of Ohio the other day.
Armageddon,
Tuesday.
tsunami.
Yeah. Just to have the weather people come out later and be like, sorry, we miscalculated the trajectory.
Mount Vesuvius, all those things. I mean,
it was
right path closed, people sent home.
Oh, yeah.
School closures.
Schools closing early. People,
cats and dogs living together. Utter chaos.
It was supposed to be Armageddon, and we got like 2 thunderstorms and some rain.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you're in northern Ohio, it was a lot worse. But,
in between all that, it was sunny.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Tennessee and Kentucky got hit harder, so that was hilarious. I found that funny as hell.
Sorry for the areas that got hit, but one here.
The majority of Ohio was freaking out, which was amazing to show now that the weather stations are baiting us into thinking the world is ending. Yeah. So add that to the list.
You know, did you ever see? It's from a couple of years ago. It's like 4 or 5 years ago, where a local weatherman, I'm not going to say his name,
right? Smart,
but he busted into like The Bachelor or something like that, and my good friend Andrew was telling me this last night.
Okay,
and the storms, and it might have been when the tornado was here. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay,
but I guess he got a whole bunch of hate stuff from people like calling the station because they interrupted The Bachelor.
I remember that. And
he comes right on there and just basically, gives the audience hell and says, so you'd rather be watching The Bachelor, but this is life-threatening, so get over it.
Yeah, I remember that whole thing because it was like a finale, and it's only on local stations, so when there's storms, that takes precedent.
Yes.
And they blacked it out for a majority of the area, at least at the time.
And to my understanding, he was fired the next day.
I think he might have been.
So... speaking of the weather, so it kind of,
we need to find that and bring that back. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Maybe we could just find a little clip. Or something,
at least the screenshot of it. Maybe.
Yeah.
But oh my god, that was hilarious. I do remember it because he was getting like sassy with everyone because people were tweeting at him
right on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like talking to it like, "Don't you look at me that way," shit like that. It was so weird.
It was he like broke the third wall when it comes to television with that stuff. He's not talking to the camera. He was talking to personally like you that tweeted it out.
So I don't remember seeing it back then, but I was shown the video last night and I was like, how did I miss this?
Yes.
So anyway,
hilarious to think back.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're all safe if you're watching this. I guess if you're dead and you wouldn't be watching this. So hey, kudos to us.
Right on.
T's and P's to everyone else, obviously.
Keep rolling.
Yeah. But big news in the NFL today. I mean, not even 2 hours earlier. We have to hit that.
This just did.
We got to hit that first. I mean, Stefon Diggs traded to the Texans for a second-round pick next year.
And let's just say, oh my gosh, the Texans offense, C.J. Stroud, the way he played last year, now he's got Joe Mixon, Stefon Diggs. He already had Nico Collins and Tank Dell. They are going to be a problem.
That is a intimidating first five. I don't even know how to describe that. They have an all-star NBA team for their running back, QB, and 3 wide receivers.
They really do. It's insane.
And it's before the draft, which means now they can
get richer.
They can get cheap players that are good at the positions they need, which I'm assuming it's going to be like O-line, D-line. I really don't know. I can't remember which they need, but I mean, offensively, those are weapons.
That is the making of a juggernaut.
In the AFC South too. I mean, given AR got hurt last year for the Colts, so that kind of puts a question mark on if they would have won a couple of those. They would have been in the playoffs. They were in the hunt at the end. But Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, they struggled late, and that didn't look good. And the Titans, who are all looking a lot better. I mean, that division is only elevating, in my opinion. I mean, that's going to be tough.
The Titans had done a stellar job this offseason. And I would have to say, you got the Chiefs. I mean, you were just saying Baltimore, I think. Of course, they got better.
I was talking about the division. Jaguars.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jaguars, Colts, Titans.
Yes.
Texans. Just in the scheme of that.
Oh my God.
Because I don't know, the last 2 years we've said it can only be the Jaguars.
Right.
Up until Stroud did what he did and they snuck in and won the division.
Right. And Calvin Ridley went to the Titans. Is that right?
That sounds about right.
So he went from the Jags to the Titans. So all those, like you said, all those 4 teams have great offenses now.
Yeah, and the Trevor Lawrence, I think there's question marks there with how their season ended.
I agree.
The Titans obviously only got better. Yep. I mean, the Colts are probably going to be middle of the pack. They're probably second or third. I don't think they'd be last, but we'll have to see how that division shakes up because honestly, I have no idea.
Yeah, it's just crazy. So
they're only elevating.
Yep. So now to step out the division to the conference.
Right.
So
AFC.
We've got the Texans. I mean, obviously the Chiefs are number 1.
Right.
So you got the Ravens. You got the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Who else is right up there? You got the Bills.
I mean, they still have Josh Allen.
Yeah.
It's for what it's worth.
Yep.
That doesn't kill them, but it does change things because now they've lost Gabe Davis and Stefon Diggs.
Yep. Oh yeah, and Gabe Davis went to the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
So
and then Chargers weren't in the running last year for it. Dolphins are there still.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I believe in it, but on paper they're there.
So the Ravens, the Texans, all this with the Texans, does that impact where you have them?
I might,
Would you move
if
them
we're
over
doing AFC pre-draft rankings, I've got, even though the Chiefs might lose Rashee Rice.
Oh my gosh!
Because of all that shit that happened.
What an unexpected thing.
I know. So, I mean, Chiefs have almost the exact same team except for they lost their wide receiver 1 and Snead. Because Snead went to the Titans.
That's right.
Fuck.
Somebody else in that division.
Oh my God. So,
we're gonna be beating the hell out of one another.
Yeah,
whoever comes out of there is gonna be tough.
Because I mean, before the season starts, the Dolphins have the ability to get there. I don't know in the playoffs if they would.
Right.
But just talking regular season rankings, I mean, I might lean like Ravens 1, Chiefs 2. No, Patrick Mahomes 1, Ravens 2. I'd probably put Texans 3, Dolphins 4.
I would too. And
I'm trying to think of who I'd have as the 5th, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because just thinking about it, Bengals should be back.
Bengals will be back.
I mean, the Bengals are back, and I mean in the sense of Joe Burrow's healthy.
Yes.
Because that's their whole season. I'm not saying he can't be healthy.
Right.
It's just that sole fact. And if that's true, I'd put it Mahomes 1, Ravens 2, Bengals 3.
Okay.
I think the Bills have got to address the issue, and
they got some holes.
They don't have any wide receivers. Same with the Chargers.
They had to get rid of a lot of. We know how they cleared cap space by unloading talent. Jets, Rodgers is back. They've done a lot with free agency.
Yes, but I mean, that would mean they go from 16 to 5.
I don't see that, but
I see 16 to 8.
Yeah,
but that division opens up now.
It does.
So Bills, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins. I mean, just looking at that alone, after a couple of these moves this offseason, the Patriots feel like they've gotten a lot better. We're assuming they're drafting a QB, but I guess this is before that.
Got to assume that, yep.
But it's like, now it's probably Dolphins, Jets, Bills, Patriots.
Yeah.
Or, is that too gracious and we should put Josh Allen higher? I mean,
I don't know.
I talent-wise, if Rodgers is healthy.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow's healthy.
Yeah.
That top 7 becomes drastically different.
Yeah. It's pretty rough.
I mean, Dolphins miss it. Who misses it from last year now?
Yeah.
Because
somebody's going to be out and someone's going to be in that wasn't.
Browns clearly will not make it again.
They won't make it.
I'm sorry. I don't believe in Deshaun Watson, and I feel terrible for Nick Chubb.
Yep.
But they don't have enough, I don't think, now.
Will the Titans have enough to make a leap? Probably not.
Not in the first year. I could see second year,
but
though.
They'll come a long way.
They're closing that gap.
Yep, they're going to cut it in half, I bet. Steelers, now you got quarterback play.
Yeah. I mean, that puts them with Mike Tomlin. You have to assume on that they miss it or make it by one game.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They're going to be on that upper middle echelon, I would say, easily.
Even if you did a tier system, there's only 2 at the top, 1 or 2 at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then everyone else is like in that middle range of it's just going to be who's healthy again. Because last year was all decided by how many QBs were still alive. I mean, it really came down to who hadn't hurt their quarterback for more than 5 weeks out of the season.
Yeah, it's true.
So I don't know what to expect in the AFC. Bengals, Jets do a lot better, clearly with less injuries. It's just getting more competitive.
Yep.
Which division beats the shit out of each other more, and who comes out of it?
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's absolute blasphemy to say that Patrick Mahomes can't do it without Rashee Rice. Or Snead.
Yep.
Assuming the draft coming up.
Right.
But again, they've kind of entered this era with similar to the Patriots that they don't care to win all 17 games.
Right.
They know they can win 10.
Right. All that matters, right?
Yeah, it's all that matters.
Yeah.
So
they have it figured out.
Yeah, they give 60% the entire regular season and comfortably get into the playoffs. Then they give it 100%.
Yep.
And it's a different team entirely.
And it's so interesting. I mean, you look at the spend, the spendiest teams, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look at total contract just for the life of the contract, you say, okay, who's the spendiest teams in free agency, right? Mm-hmm. Well, obviously Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're the spendiest because $400 million was the total number for Kirk Cousins. You get into the middle range of that, you've got Kansas City somehow finds a way to still spend I think it was $90 million re-signing people.
Right.
And those mid teams, the Eagles are right there in the middle where they were still able to be spendy like that. You got the Chargers who are at $40 million.
Yep.
And then the last team, the least spendiest team, the Cowboys at $11 million.
Yep.
So you could see
the range.
If you take all those contracts and you just look at them for the total value of them.
Yeah.
And of course there's teams up there that Washington spent a bunch of money.
Yeah.
The Jets spent a bunch of money. But interesting though.
It is, and
the teams that were already really good, who are in that middle range, seems like that's going to bode well for them.
I agree, and it's almost like you're going to have to start tiering teams by their personal issues. It's like Bengals, Jets, can they stay healthy?
Yeah.
Chargers, Ravens, can they win a playoff game or win the big game?
Yep.
Chiefs, I don't even know. No one else is in that fucking category with them. But it's so bizarre how each team's got their own problems that seem to keep rising up.
That they just can't get past it. It's nuts. I don't know.
And it'll be the first for a lot of teams in the sense of new quarterbacks, new coaches.
Yep.
And, that's a complete dice roll on it. If it takes 2 years or if next year they're a juggernaut all of a sudden.
Yep.
So, I don't know.
Giants in the NFC have spent a lot of money, but they still have Daniel Jones.
Yes.
The Bears are going to have a whole new quarterback.
Yep.
What's that going to look like?
They revamped a lot of their offense, though. Yeah. So it bodes well, but does it work out are two very different things.
Vikings got to be finding a quarterback.
Yep.
They don't have one.
They re-signed Justin Jefferson officially, didn't they?
I think they did.
Okay. I thought they might have.
Yep. So there's some interesting holes to be figured out now as we get less than a month away from the draft. An interesting theory from a buddy of mine named Greg. So Chargers fan like you, and he was just telling me, he's like, I know what Harbaugh's doing. He's talking all these quarterbacks, not just J.J. McCarthy, but all the other ones up because he wants to nab the top receiver.
Yes, he wants to have put it the first pick of the draft.
Yeah.
Because everyone, and it feels like everyone, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but there's been heavy discussion of it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks, and then Chargers obviously assuming they don't do anything stupid.
Yeah.
It'll be up to them to draft
whatever they want.
Player. Yeah.
Yep. And it's true because some teams have to make that decision, right? You got to. It's the classic thing we talked about several episodes ago with Justin Fields.
Yes.
Do they stick with him, do they draft a quarterback and reset their whole pay structure for the guy?
Yep.
And that's how they went. Other teams, it's all where you're coming from. Atlanta, been in quarterback hell,
Right.
like Cleveland has been for a long time. They decided, I just want to shell the money out.
Yep.
And look at that. Kirk Cousins was hurt, half the year?
Yeah, if not more, I think.
Yeah. It cleans the clock on a $400 million deal.
And hasn't won
nothing.
Almost anything
One
in the
one playoff game.
That's what I thought.
And it's insipid.
It's nuts.
These teams, Cowboys are in the same position. Are you going to let it play out? Are you going to re-sign Dak?
Yep.
But again, the guy's not done anything. So, on one hand, it's like, what it's like not to be with the quarterback, even though the Cowboys have stumbled ass backwards into Tony Romo as an undrafted free agent and a 4th-round pick, Dak Prescott.
Yep.
Nothing that they did. It was just luck.
Exactly.
But you go back before that, and they had shit for quarterbacks for 10, 12 years. Do you pay that big money, or do you throw it aside? It's the classic NFL, and quarterback is everything in the league now.
And everyone does it differently, is all I was getting at. And it's crazy to think that some of these bad teams will do that for a, not average, because it's like they're regular season warriors.
Yeah.
At the moment, Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins. I would argue Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'll get flack for that since Chargers fan. But, until they can win, I would say 2 playoff games consistently, and given that takes a lot, I'm not dogging specific quarterbacks, but in general. Because no one's thinking of Joe Burrow the same way because he went to the Super Bowl already.
That's right.
That's a different conversation.
As soon as you do that,
Jalen Hurts already went to the Super Bowl.
Pressure's off.
Yep. And given Tua, Herbert haven't, Burrow, Hurts have.
Yep.
And now Love not getting flack because in his debut year,
went
above and beyond. Won a game on paper they weren't supposed to, so that changes the narrative completely.
Yeah, because now it's an expectation.
Yes.
Right? He can never. He's shown. No, he's ready to make the leap.
And I recognize that. Being a Chargers fan, it's just how it is, given I blame Staley for everything. But it's, it's just how it is right now until those other until they do something. They change the stats behind their name.
And again, you got, Kyler Murray. You got Derek Carr.
I don't know how he's in the league still. Kudos to him, honestly.
Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And Seattle still has
Geno?
Yeah, Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. So those guys are making that decision, but in my opinion, that's a decision to stay mediocre.
It feels that way. It does in those cases that you've seen all that you've seen and tried numerous things and put pieces in places.
Yep.
And it's also that season that everyone's giving their either honest or complete lie opinions because they want the right draft pick.
Right.
So if they want, I don't know, if they want Marvin Harrison or I don't know, Dunze, they're gonna talk shit about the other one enough and then put out feelers to put the other guy up a little bit,
right,
or down, however that works out, so they fall.
Yep.
And so this whole month is nothing but just crap.
Yep.
Everything you think you'll know off Twitter, off rumors and allegations and shit, it's gonna be 1 out of 15 are gonna be true.
Yeah.
But you won't know that till after the draft.
Yeah, exactly right. And again, it's still so hard to know anything. But talking about the mock draft right now. So right now they've got Caleb Williams going 1 to the Bears.
I'd say that's a lock.
Jaden Daniels going to Washington 2.
Interesting.
Drake May going 3 to the Giants. I could see that. J.J. McCarthy going 4th to the Vikings.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. So that third one, what this guy has here, this is Lance Zierlein from NFL Network.
Okay.
But he's got the trade with the Giants and the Patriots. That's how they get up there to get Drake May.
That'd be interesting.
And then he has Marvin Harrison going to the Chargers.
Yeah.
So I could very, and that fourth one is a trade with Arizona, which makes sense. You've got to have a quarterback.
Yes.
You've gotta have a quarterback.
Or you just cash in the season, basically.
Yep. And so I could see these teams that have these draft picks 3 and 4, New England and Arizona, that don't need a quarterback. They're going to get a handsome ransom for those picks, because these other teams have got to do something, or those coaches won't be around another year.
I know. And what'll be even crazier is if either the New England or the Cardinals keep the pick but don't take a quarterback, in which case the 5th pick then becomes the next best option.
The next prize thing, yeah.
Which will be interesting because, every year we always think we have it straight. Probably everyone, including me, thinks first 4 quarterbacks right now.
Yep.
I could see Patriots going, no, we like Brissett, let's take Marvin Harrison.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, everybody's idea of what this draft is going to be is out the window. Because now the Chargers, who don't need a top wide receiver necessarily, I'm not saying I wouldn't like that, but can then trade with the Vikings, can trade with any of these other teams that people think might trade up to get a quarterback, and they'll be happy with any of the 4.
Yep. Get some picks.
And it only takes one of those top 4 teams to be like, you know what, we're not married to this.
Yep.
Of course, I don't know what next year's shit looks like. I don't watch enough college football to know who that person might be.
Yeah, not sure offhand.
But, it'll only take one of those teams that's like, let's stick with old, Grandpa another year. Let's tank that year, too. And then all of a sudden we've got Marvin Harrison and Archie Manning or whoever would be in that situation. I don't know. I don't think it's Archie, but what I mean.
Great point, yeah.
So,
no, I think it's...
And it depends on where the owners are, who the GMs are, how they've previously drafted, how they, want to structure their team going forward. And that's why no one knows shit.
Yep. And I think outside of number 1, nothing is certain here.
No.
I mean, there's no doubt the Bears are taking Caleb Williams.
Everything I've heard, it seems like a guarantee almost.
But the Jaden Daniels, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy at 2 to Washington, it could be any one of those to them at 2.
And, who knows?
Yeah.
It really is a crapshoot when it comes to who's going to be 2 and 3.
Yep. For sure.
And, I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping there's a little chaos.
Yeah, there will be.
It makes it so much better when it isn't chalked like how you expect it to.
Yeah, exactly. And oh, by the way, a couple signings that took place this last week. Devin White to the Eagles.
Yes.
Oh boy,
that sucks.
Yeah,
if you're a NFC East team.
I wanted Devin White, so yeah, that sucks. And by the way, coming this next season, so these are NFL stars who are going to be free agents next year.
Okay.
So we've got Dak Prescott.
Oh, boy.
Justin Jefferson is what this says right now. So I don't know if he re-signed or not.
Maybe he picked up his 5th year or
Could
something.
be.
Maybe he did.
Yeah, to extend him 1 year.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Creed Humphrey, the guard for the Chiefs.
Okay.
Tristan Wirfs, the tackle for the Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Surtain, the second, corner for the Broncos.
That'll be interesting.
And Micah Parsons.
Whoa.
So you can see why the Cowboys are not doing anything now.
Because next year's going to be their Holocaust.
Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. I don't know how you
keep one of them?
Keep
2 of them max?
I wish you could trade them for picks is what I would do, to be honest with you.
That's also an option. I mean, come this time of year next year, Lord knows Jerry's taking calls.
Yeah. So it's really kind of an interesting thing.
That is going to be crazy.
Yep.
And, every year there's something that comes up. But that'll be, for you, that'll be the year.
Yes.
Got to get through this one first.
That's right.
But, yeah, I think you've done a few more mock drafts, I'm assuming?
Done a few more mock drafts. I'm probably about 150 now. They're so easy and quick to do.
Yeah.
If I've got a few minutes or eating lunch or something like that.
A little break.
Yep. I just run through it. It's pretty interesting. And the thing I've learned about the draft is it never goes how you think it will. So, outside of maybe the top few picks, and the first round is somewhat predictable,
right,
but also unpredictable.
It has, I would say, the largest opportunity for the biggest moves,
if
you will.
Yeah, this year really seems to be that way for sure.
It's because there's the quarterbacks. It feels like the Herbert draft where the top 3, Bengals were definitely taking Burrow, but 2 and 3 were unknown basically.
Yeah.
But on a grander scale because there's 4 of them now.
Yeah,
and the top 4 teams do need quarterbacks or could use a quarterback potentially.
So,
March Madness time?
March Madness, I think.
Yeah, let's talk about chalking. NC State, Alabama, Purdue, and UConn.
Well, how about that?
That's crazy shit. That is not at all what I thought. Well, you never know what the Final Four is going to be.
Right.
But NC State going in the distance is wild.
That is amazing.
That big fella on NC State is hilarious to watch.
That number 30?
Probably.
Yeah.
There's only the big
He's
guy.
huge. Yeah. Yep.
There was talk about him potentially being in the combine or the NFL draft.
I saw that.
Talking to teams
About it being an offensive lineman, like a tackle. The guy's like 380 or something like that.
He's big.
Big. Huge, dude.
That would be so funny because NC State did what they did in the Final Four, that he gets a NFL contract.
Yep. We know Mo Alley Cox, who played college basketball at VCU.
And signed with the Colts.
Signed with the Colts. Got drafted by him, I think.
Yeah. Maybe. He ended up there.
Yeah.
One way or another.
But kind of a similar situation.
It's hilarious. And that would be even more funny to see him on the football field if he decides basketball's not for him.
What a huge dude.
He's crazy. I mean, in UConn... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, somebody signed a rugby player this week, too.
Yeah, was that the Chiefs?
I think it was the Chiefs.
Chiefs kicker?
Yeah, the kick returner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So for this new kickoff return rules, they're all trying to get this physical returner. They used to be sleek and fast.
Right.
Everybody's going for the guy you can't tackle now.
It's meatballs now.
Yeah.
Cordell Patterson, a rugby player.
Yep.
I mean, you're going to who knows if Gus Edwards is that for the Chargers or not?
Yeah.
Because I know there's J.K. Dobbins talks now.
Yeah.
But oh my God, that would be so freaking funny.
Yep.
It'll be interesting to watch.
Yeah.
You can watch our last episode. We went all over it, but
So these last two games are all Saturday.
yes, and then the final is Monday, the same day as the eclipse.
Yep.
So
Right on.
that'll be interesting. UConn was won by 30, I think, in every game so far.
Yeah, I think they only have not led for like 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
I don't doubt that.
Yeah,
It was probably
it's crazy.
2 missed shots in the first game or something.
So Connecticut, UConn and Alabama play Saturday at just about 9 o'clock.
Oh.
And Alabama is 11.5 point underdog.
It makes sense.
So, and then you got Saturday at 6. Purdue's a 9.5 point favorite over NC State.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, both feel like a lot, but UConn's, it's like that might be cheap. And then Purdue, that feels like a lot just with their history of not being able to make it. But I don't know shit. It should be a great day to watch college basketball. I'm hoping for some decent games. It'd suck if there were just 2 blowouts.
Yeah.
But, NC
I don't think they will.
I don't think so either. Watching Edie for Purdue deal with NC State's big fella, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens there, but looking forward to it.
Agree. I think it's going to be fabulous.
Yes.
I really do.
Trying to think. Yeah, UConn. I don't know if Alabama's dead or if they're going to be able to do it, but you know what? You made it to the Final Four, so that's pretty good, regardless.
They've been pretty darn good, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, UConn, it's almost like an expectation now, it feels like, and Alabama, I didn't think was going to make it out of the first round potentially, so I don't know shit.
Got a funny little
Story?
Yeah, so they are making where we kind of ended on March Madness, would you say?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. So they're making Happy Gilmore 2.
I saw that.
Shooter McGavin's been on with Rich Eisen.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll Colin will put this picture on for you, but it shows it's a picture of oh shit, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
It's a picture of Adam Sandler walking across the street, just looking like he woke up and walked out the front door. And Shooter McGavin, the actor, he goes, "No way, I'm losing to this guy again in the sequel." But the story that he told was when he has to make his putt in the movie. When they make a movie about golf, they normally like put some kind of ridge underneath so that when they putt it goes where it's supposed to.
Makes sense.
And Shooter wanted to actually make the putt.
Oh my god.
So he goes, "I want to make the putt." So the director said, "I'm going to give you 7 chances." So he rimmed out like the first 2, missed like the next 2, and I think he made it on like the 5th shot. And so, his whole Shooter thing and the shimmy.
A little genuine.
So he said when they were filming that, all the actors that are watching around the green are actually betting on whether he's going to make it or not. And so he goes, "You wouldn't believe it." He goes, "It turned into a scene." And so people are, some of the extras and all that are yelling at him, "You suck, you suck." And he goes, "So it was just natural when the putt went in." He goes, "I just naturally went and then did the shimmy." And he goes, and they kept it in the they kept it in the movie.
Oh, that's amazing.
And so it was totally just ad lib.
those are some of the best scenes ever in cinema.
Which I thought was really cool.
Oh yeah, that's even better funny in the back. They're betting on which hole which attempt he probably makes it on.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, that's right.
That's too funny.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I can't believe that. Good on him.
So,
I love that the shimmy and the celebration was completely ad-libbed. That part of it's hilarious.
I think he said something like "suck it" or something like that. But he's on with Rich Eisen. We'll put something on here.
Yeah, I can.
But he had him just dying laughing.
Oh yeah.
He's like, "Is that a true story?" He's like, "Every word of it."
That's amazing.
Yeah, love that.
Oh my God.
Well, what else we got?
I don't know. We kind of touched on everything. I'm trying to think if there's any other little things, other little tidbits. Next week, for the podcast episode, there will be a special guest.
Special guest.
It's
yes.
Special guest week on the Coy Pond. Comment below who you think the guest is, for sure.
That's right.
Should be exciting. I'm getting everything
organized. I will not be here, unfortunately, so this special guest will be helping Colin carry the load, and
we'll see what happens.
Go from there.
It might be 15, it might be 45.
That's right.
Who knows?
It might be the most popular episode ever.
I don't know about that. It'll be an episode, though.
Yes, indeed.
Other than that, though,
I think that's about all we got.
Yeah, I think we hit about 35.
About 35 right now.
Yeah.
The news cycle is slow. The activity is slow.
It's like there's not much to talk about NFL-wise. College basketball, I can't give any takes because I fucking suck at it.
Yeah.
Basketball's closing. Is kind of the end. Baseball just started.
Yeah.
That's something.
I know Darlene was telling me, one of our followers. Thank you, Darlene. But she likes the going back on the drafts part, so we'll probably return to that.
Yeah, those episodes are doing really well for what it was worth.
And then we'll also, so it's probably going to be a lot of draft for the next 3 weeks.
Yes.
Because we'll go back and hit some drafts, and then we'll come forward talking about the upcoming draft.
Right, because our episode will come out the morning of the draft.
Oh, yeah. So we'll give our final.
Yeah, we'll give the
picks.
mock draft.
Yep, we'll give our mocks and
based off his mock draft, I'll tell you what to gamble on.
Yep,
and we'll
that'll
go
be
from
fun.
there. Yeah, we'll be able to watch those live, and we'll be watching it somewhere.
Yep, absolutely.
Figure it out. But yeah, it should be fun. I'm excited. We've gotten a few new subscribers, so I appreciate you guys with all the love and support. Up to 53 at the moment.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I just wanted to close with it's kind of a historic thing, Pearl Harbor.
Oh, right.
So this gentleman, Lou Conter, he was the last survivor of the USS Arizona attack in Pearl Harbor, and he passed away today at 102. So
that's crazy.
Prayers out for he and his family.
Him and his family.
But that's just amazing to me.
102.
Yeah.
Especially if you fought in World War II then. Or that was World War II.
Yeah, essentially. Yep. So
that's crazy.
But yeah.
I wonder what they were feeding him.
I don't know.
Because I want whatever he was getting.
Yeah, he did all right. Probably smoking cigars and drinking beer all his life.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. that makes you think, doesn't it?
It does.
Whatever.
All right.
That's it. I don't have anything else.
Thank you, folks.
Hey, thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatnot. And we will see you all next week with the review of the 2013 NFL Draft.
I think it was 2013.
2014. Yeah, we'll leave it up to you. Yeah. We'll be surprised.
Take care.
Coy Pond at.